Today we'll look at variations on the plank position to focus on the core, balance, and arm strength, which of course we want all of those three things. So we'll start on all fours in your tabletop position, flipped upside down. Your wrists are right underneath your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. It's important that your wrists aren't too far in front of you or the legs too far behind you, because that will really compromise your back and your core. So make sure you're properly set up. Know that this is kind of hard on your wrists at times, so you can work on in fists on your knuckles. If it becomes too painful, you may opt to bring your hands onto the floor, and working on a harder surface may help your wrists out, but you might hurt your knees. So feel free to take a break if you need to, and I'll give you modifications to help work out to the ideal. Okay, so here we are on all fours. You'll start by taking a nice deep inhale. Think of widening in through the sides of the ribs. So you'll inhale, and then as you exhale, without moving the bones of your pelvis like this, keep very still and just pull your abdominals in and up to your spine, like you're tightening a really tight pair of jeans. And then let that go. And you'll inhale again. Then as you exhale, feel like you're lifting your abdominal wall up towards your spine and hold it, and you'll feel your abdominals work. And this is the point where we begin. So from this balanced, centered position, start to float your right arm out in front of you, trying not to shift your weight, and then lower your right arm down. And then your left arm, take a deep inhale, float the arm up, and then exhale, lower the left arm down. Okay, let's try that one more to each side. So when you lift one arm, try not to let all of your weight sink onto the supporting side. The goal is to try to maintain your position as if all four your hands and your feet are still on the mat, and lower the arm. Then left, inhale, lift. So you're still lifting your abdominals to help lift up your arm. And then exhale as you lower the arm down. Now for the legs, just take an inhale, exhale, find your belly connection first, and then extend your right leg out behind you and hold it there. Lift up through your middle and then lower down your knee. And then the other leg, you'll inhale here, float the leg behind you. Again, not falling off to the side, but staying right into the center. And then lower right back down. Okay, now lift your right arm out in front of you, and then try to lift your left leg behind you. And in this position, it's really easy to sink into your other supporting wrist, so try to lift out of it. Feel like you're lifting up off of your wrists. And then lower your arm and leg down. And then to the other side. So you'll know you're doing this correctly if when your arm and leg comes down, that there's not a whole lot of shifting before you switch. And then lower. Okay, now super challenge. Reach your right arm out, your left leg behind. Hold it, and then try to reach your arm to the side and your leg to the side, like you're doing karate or something. And then come back to the center and lower your arm and your knee down. Find your center, breathe in. As you breathe out, send the left arm in front, the right leg behind, hold it. Remember, no floating arms away because you don't want your back to be arching and hurting. Keep everything really long and stable, and then reach your arm and leg to the side. And you'll hold it, maybe longer than me. That's fine. And then lower your arm and your knee down. Then take a quick rest pose. Stretch long, breathe in, and breathe out. Okay, and then in between, just stretch your wrists a little bit. So I'm holding one hand down, and then you can bring your thumb behind your wrist and stretch this way. Okay, so building on to this, come back onto all fours, flex your toes into the mat, curl your spine. If you're familiar with Pilates, it's like knees off position on the reformer, and then just hover your knees up off the mat and hold it for 10, for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower the knees down. You can do that a few more times, but we'll move on. So from here, you'll lift the knees up off the mat again, and then just stretch your right leg out behind you, then hover the left knee up off the mat, and hold this for 10 counts. 10 and 9, 8. Try not to lock your elbows. Keep it a little soft. 4, 3, 2, 1. Then lower your knee down and bring your other knee down. Same thing to the other side. So flex the toes into the mat. Hover your knees off, send the left leg back, and then try to hover your right knee up. Notice that no matter what the arms and legs are doing, there's not a lot of shifting through the center and certainly no bowing through the back here. And then lower both knees down and go back to your child's pose or rest pose. And breathe in and out. Okay, now hands and knees, flex both toes into the mat, lift them, send your right leg out behind you, lift the left for a second, and then send it behind you. And hold it here. Now, remembering our little combination from earlier, this will be much harder. Lift your right hand out in front of you, and then try to lower it. Woo! Try to keep yourself centered. Lift the left arm up, and lower it. Then lift the right leg up. Hold it, and lower. Then the left leg, and lower. Then trying to stay up if you can, or you can lower your knees in between. It's totally up to you. Wherever you're at, go back to your plank. Try to raise your left foot, your right arm up in a little balance, or a big balance, as the case may be here. Lower the arm and leg down. And then you can take a break in between, that's fine. Or going right from your plank, lift your other leg, your other hand, hold it. That's it. Lower your arm, lower your leg, lower your knees. Go back to rest pose. Okay. Now back onto all fours. Find your plank position again. So one leg back and stretch. This will be our hard one. Lift your right leg, your left arm. Try to go to the side. Then back to the beginning position and lower. And then to the other side. Lift your leg, lift your arm. So try to honor each position. Take your time. It's about control. Then lower your knees and go back to your rest pose. All right. Little wrist stretch again. And you'll take your thumb under your palm, stretch through the forearm, and then you'll switch and just shake out your wrists a little bit. Okay, now moving from plank into side plank series. So we'll start on all fours. I'll start with a modified version on the first side and then the more advanced version on the second side. So again, in your tabletop, make sure your back is supported by your abdominals. Send one leg behind you, then the other leg behind you. So you're in your plank. Parallel feet, not Pilates stance or heels together, toes apart for now. Then bring your right hand into the center of the mat, turn to the side, and you can either have your feet stacked like mine, one in front of the other, or you can bend your knee down, and then you'll just hold this position. Your arm can go to the ceiling. So your options are here, here, or if you're already ready for your more advanced, you can bring your foot right on top of the other one. So, as I said, we'll do a little modification here. So from your side plank, you'll lower your top arm down to your leg, and you'll lower your hips down to the mat. This is called side bends, and lift the hips. And do this 2 more times. You're looking down toward your outstretched arms, down your leg. Then after this third one, you'll reach your top arm over your head. Then come up and twist. Twist your arm through your arm, and then lift your arm right back up. You look down toward the mat, twist your torso, reaching back behind you, and then open your arm right back up. One more time, and twist through, then stretch your arm up here, and then finally, you'll do a little star. So you'll lift your top leg up and hold it. Then lower the leg down, bend your knees. You'll sit onto both of your seats there, and then you'll take a little mermaid stretch to the side. And then we'll do everything to the other side. So a fancy way, you can do a little teaser to the other side, or you can just turn to the other side like a human. It's up to you. Okay, so hands and knees to begin. Send one leg out behind you, then the other leg out behind you. So this will be our advancement. Moving into side plank, turn towards the front, lift your waist, and send your arm to the ceiling and hold it. Then you'll bring your top hand over your top leg, lower your hips, and lift. Now try not to jam the hips up. Remember, you're working with control from the core. Then you'll lift your arm up nice and high and over, looking down towards your bottom hand. Then look up and twist like you're trying to wring out a towel, and then come back up. You can breathe in deeply here, then breathe out and twist and come back up. Once more, inhale, exhale, twist, and come up. Then find your star balance and just hold it there. 3, 2, 1. Then lower your feet, lower your knees, and then you'll take a little mermaid stretch. So your left arm is up high, and you'll side bend. Now, for our grand finale, you'll come back onto all fours. Lower down onto your forearms. So at this point, you can either keep your knees bent or you can send one leg at a time out behind you. Find your parallel stance and just hold this position. Let's hold it for 20 seconds. Just keep breathing. 16, 15, 14. Think of your core. Remember, try not to arch the back and let it fall, but keep it curled. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, if you need a break, just lower your knees or go right into 5 serratus push-ups. You'll lower your chest to the mat and press back up. 4 more times, lower and lift for 3 and 2. 1 more time. Then you can either lower your knees for a break or, because you want to be done, push yourself right up to your plank position and hold it. And try 3 Pilates push-ups. So bend the elbows close to the sides and press up, going close to the mat as you can, in good form, of course. Once more. Then lift your hips up to the ceiling, walk your hands back about a step, and then just pedal through your heels. So stretch back and forth through your heels here, and breathe. Then just bring your heels toward the mat, walk your hands up toward your legs, hang forward, let your head be very heavy. Breathe in, then breathe out, and roll all the way back up to standing. And you're done.